We have always said it is about children. It's not just about me. Never just made it about me. I'm just the loudest one.
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
C. Diddy's world is falling apart, and the shocking revelations are more explosive than anyone could have predicted. The once celebrated music mogul is now at the center of one of the most scandalous legal battles in recent history, with accusations spanning decades, hundreds of accusers, and involvement from some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. The fallout is nothing short of devastating. This isn't just another Hollywood scandal, it's a reckoning. If you thought you knew everything about Diddy, think again. What's coming to light now is truly horrifying, and it's sending shockwaves throughout the industry.
This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others.
The latest developments have brought forth new accusations that paint an even darker picture of C. Diddy than anyone could have imagined. Attorney Tony Busby, representing over 100 individuals accusing Diddy of misconduct, reveals allegations that are not only morally reprehensible but criminal. Among the accusers is a minor, whose story has left even the most hardened observers shocked. Busby claims the boy was lured to a studio under the guise of an audition for Bad Boy Records, only for what was supposed to be a step towards stardom to turn into something much more sinister. This is just one of many horrifying accounts that have emerged, with accusations stretching across decades, from the early 1990s to as recently as this year. The allegations depict a person who allegedly abused their power for personal gain while hiding behind a facade of fame and success. Even more damning is the vast scale of the accusations. Busby's firm has been contacted by over 3,000 individuals claiming to be victims or witnesses, with 120 cases already vetted and set to proceed in court. These aren't isolated incidents, but rather a disturbing pattern of manipulation and control that spans years.
We all saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
The details emerging are truly horrifying. Victims described being invited to extravagant parties under the pretense of professional opportunities, only to find themselves in situations where they felt completely powerless. One account involves a young woman, just 26 at the time, who claimed she was picked up from an airport by Diddy and his associates, given a drink, and later woke up in pain, disoriented and unsure of what had happened. Other victims recount being coaxed into private meetings or auditions, only to be trapped in deeply uncomfortable and degrading circumstances. The common thread running through these stories is the false promise of opportunity, which quickly spiraled into a nightmare.
That he controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
Then there are the infamous elite parties, long the subject of whispered rumors within industry circles, which are now being described as far darker than anyone ever imagined. According to Busby and several accusers, these events, which appeared glamorous on the surface, allegedly served as hunting grounds for Diddy and a select group of powerful figures who preyed on the vulnerable. The stories paint a chilling picture of manipulation and coercion, where attendees were served drinks that left them incapacitated. One victim described waking up with no memory of what had transpired, only to find physical signs of mistreatment. Another recounted being pressured into performing acts they couldn't refuse, fearing the repercussions for their careers or even their safety.
And I remember, I don't know if you know what his voice sounds like, but I felt like I was in the presence of his monster inside.
What's even more shocking is the reported involvement of those around him in enabling this alleged behavior. Busby claims that banks, hotels, and even pharmaceutical companies played roles in facilitating or covering up these crimes. It's not just Diddy facing scrutiny. This could mark the start of a domino effect that brings down an entire network of enablers. The day will come when we name names, Busby said during a recent press conference, adding that the list of individuals involved is already long.
Do you believe Diddy is a dangerous person?
Yes.
This isn't the first time Diddy has faced accusations, but what sets this case apart is the sheer volume and intensity of the claims. In the past, Diddy was known for quietly settling lawsuits, using his vast wealth and influence to make problems disappear. However, this time is different. Federal authorities have stepped in, and the investigation has become massive. The FBI, along with other agencies, is reportedly working to build a case that spans multiple states and involves thousands of pieces of evidence, including texts, videos, and eyewitness accounts. This is no longer just about Diddy. It's about exposing a culture of abuse and corruption that has been allowed to fester for far too long.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now.
This isn't the first time Diddy has faced accusations, but what sets this case apart is the sheer volume and intensity of the claims. In the past, Diddy was known for quietly settling lawsuits, using his vast wealth and influence to make problems disappear. However, this time is different. Federal authorities have stepped in, and the investigation has become massive. The FBI, along with other agencies, is reportedly working to build a case that spans multiple states and involves thousands of pieces of evidence, including texts, videos, and eyewitness accounts. This is no longer just about Diddy. It's about exposing a culture of abuse and corruption that has been allowed to fester for far too long.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
Perhaps the most chilling aspect of this case is the systemic nature of the alleged abuse. Victims describe a highly organized operation designed to entrap them, with every detail carefully planned from the moment they arrived at auditions or parties. They were reportedly subjected to a series of calculated steps meant to break down their defenses. Drinks were allegedly spiked, rooms were prepared in advance, and high-profile attendees were strategically positioned to lend the events an air of legitimacy. One victim described it as a trap, meticulously set and impossible to escape.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
What's even more troubling is the implication that many within the industry were aware of what was happening and did nothing to stop it. Busby has suggested that numerous celebrities, executives, and even politicians could be implicated as the case progresses. This isn't just about one man, he said, it's about an entire system that allowed this to happen. Speculation is already rife about who might be named next, with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and the music industry rumored to be involved. The question now isn't just who knew, it's who participated.
The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
The fallout has already begun, with several celebrities who were once closely associated with Diddy distancing themselves following his arrest. Usher, who famously lived with Diddy as a teenager, recently deleted a series of social media posts referencing their time together. Megan Fox and Pink have also wiped their accounts clean, fueling speculation about their connections to the mogul. Then there's the so-called list, a rumored roster of high-profile names allegedly linked to Diddy's infamous gatherings. While no one on the list has been officially implicated, the mere association is damaging enough, especially in a post-Weinstein world. The internet has been buzzing with theories about who might be next to fall, with some drawing parallels to Jeffrey Epstein's notorious network, noting the similarities in how both men allegedly used their wealth and influence to exploit the vulnerable. One law enforcement official even described Diddy as just as bad, if not worse, citing the sheer scale of the allegations. The case has also reignited discussions about accountability in the entertainment industry. For years, rumors about Diddy's activities circulated in tabloids and gossip sites, but they were often dismissed as exaggerations or baseless speculation. Now, those rumors are being reevaluated in a new light, and the revelations are sending shockwaves through Hollywood. The question now is, how many other powerful figures have used their influence to silence victims, and how many more victims are still too afraid to come forward?
That's not the issue. The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
What's clear is that this case is far from over, with new allegations emerging almost daily, making the story grow bigger and more complex by the minute. The legal battle ahead will undoubtedly be one of the most closely watched in recent history, with implications that could reshape the industry as we know it. For Diddy, the stakes couldn't be higher. His career, legacy, and freedom are all on the line. But for the alleged victims, this is about something far more significant: justice.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
As the investigation intensifies and more details emerge, one thing is clear: this is a watershed moment. The walls are closing in, and the truth is finally coming to light. The question now is, who else will be caught in the fallout, and what will it take for the entertainment industry to confront its darkest secrets? Stay tuned, because this story is only just beginning.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
The story of Should Diddy Combs takes a dark and unsettling turn as we delve into a long history of troubling allegations that now appear to be ominous clues pointing toward a massive fallout. For years, whispers of misconduct, exploitation, and manipulation have surrounded Diddy's name, but only now is the full scope of these claims coming to light. This is not merely a collection of isolated incidents or poor choices. What's emerging is a calculated, decades-long pattern of behavior that reportedly involves some of the most powerful figures in Hollywood and beyond. How did someone once so beloved and admired by millions allegedly build and sustain an empire that many now claim was built on control, fear, and secrecy?
Well, either way, if you got to run to a private island because your evil doings are doing so much and they storming your house, it's one of these.
Diddy, once hailed as a visionary in music, fashion, and business, is now being described by some insiders as the mastermind behind a secretive and disturbing world of exploitation. The allegations go far beyond personal misconduct. What's unfolding is a narrative that suggests Diddy didn't simply use his influence to rise to the top. He allegedly weaponized it, creating an environment where he could operate without accountability. His empire, from Bad Boy Records to his clothing line and television ventures, was reportedly not just about building his personal brand, but served as a facade for something much darker.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
Let's talk about the parties. These were no ordinary gatherings. They were legendary, lavish affairs with exclusive guest lists, held in sprawling mansions or on luxurious yachts, drawing the biggest names in the world. Diddy's infamous white parties, for example, became the stuff of legend, with celebrities like Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Mariah Carey, and even royalty such as Prince Harry reportedly attending regularly. These events were seen as the epitome of Hollywood glamour. However, behind the glitzy facade, emerging accounts suggest something far more sinister at play. These weren't just parties. They were allegedly meticulously orchestrated operations designed to manipulate and trap vulnerable individuals. Insiders have described these gatherings as a two-faced operation. On the surface, you had A-listers sipping champagne, posing for photos, and enjoying exquisite food. But behind closed doors, there were reportedly private rooms, hidden cameras, and tightly controlled environments where attendees were coerced into compromising situations. Some victims have claimed they were invited to these events under the guise of networking or career advancement, only to find themselves in circumstances where they felt pressured to comply with the demands of Diddy and his inner circle. Even more shocking, allegations suggest that some of Hollywood's biggest names were either aware of what was happening or, at the very least, chose to turn a blind eye.
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff, they were there to delete everything. Like the real people that were in there, you know.
Oh,
like
that's funny.
Epstein.
Oh, that's funny.
One source close to the investigation described these parties as a trap. Victims were allegedly given specially prepared drinks and then ushered into secluded areas. Once inside, they were reportedly coerced into actions they would later regret. One accuser claimed that after attending one of these events, she woke up with no memory of what had occurred, but with clear signs that something was terribly wrong. Another described being pressured into performing tasks she felt she couldn't refuse, fearing that saying no would mark the end of her career. While Diddy stands at the center of these allegations, sources suggest he wasn't acting alone. Witnesses have indicated that other high-profile figures not only participated but actively helped orchestrate these events.
That's of course. There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
But the real bombshell lies in the claim that these parties were about more than just indulgence. They were allegedly part of a much larger system designed to gather leverage over powerful people. According to rumors circulating within the entertainment world, Diddy reportedly used hidden cameras to collect compromising material on his guests. The footage was then allegedly used as a tool to ensure their silence and compliance. One insider described it as a game of power and control. The more leverage Diddy had over someone, the more untouchable he became.
And let me tell you something else. Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
This brings us to the so-called Diddy list. In the wake of his arrest, social media has been abuzz with speculation about which celebrities might be implicated in the scandal. It's being likened to the infamous Black Book from the Epstein case, a list of influential figures who allegedly attended these questionable events. While no one on the list has been officially accused of any wrongdoing, the mere association has sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Some of the names being discussed include Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, and even Justin Bieber. While there's no concrete evidence linking these individuals to any criminal activity, their presence at Diddy's events has certainly raised eyebrows. The fallout has been swift. Usher, who famously lived with Diddy as a teenager while launching his career, recently deleted several posts referencing their time together. Megan Fox and Pink have also scrubbed their social media accounts, likely to avoid speculation about their connections to Diddy. Then there's the resurfaced clip of Khloe Kardashian describing one of Diddy's parties as wild and out of control. While she didn't go into specifics, her comments now carry new weight in light of the ongoing allegations.
Clearly, there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
But if you think this is just about parties, think again. The accusations against Diddy go much deeper, painting a picture of someone who allegedly used his power to manipulate not just individuals, but entire systems. According to attorney Tony Busby, Diddy's influence stretched far beyond the entertainment industry. Banks, hotels, and even pharmaceutical companies are being accused of playing roles in facilitating or covering up his actions. Busby has suggested that the lawsuits he's preparing will name individuals whose involvement will shock you. This isn't just about one man, it's about an entire network of enablers who allegedly helped him maintain his grip on power for decades.
Clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
And let's not overlook the corporate side of Diddy's empire. From his record label to his clothing line to his media ventures, everything was reportedly part of a carefully crafted image designed to conceal what was really happening behind the scenes. Bad Boy Records, once seen as a symbol of success in the music industry, is now under scrutiny for allegedly enabling these behaviors. Some former employees have come forward with claims that they were pressured into silence about what they witnessed, fearing retaliation if they spoke out. One former employee described the environment as toxic and terrifying, recalling that anyone who questioned Diddy's actions was swiftly silenced, either through intimidation or financial incentives. It was like walking on eggshells, they said. Everyone knew what was going on, but no one dared to speak up. It wasn't just employees who were affected. Several aspiring artists who worked with Bad Boy Records have shared stories of being manipulated and taken advantage of, all under the pretense of launching their careers.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
What's particularly chilling about these allegations is how Diddy is said to have used his power to create an environment where victims felt they had no choice but to comply. Whether through promises of fame, threats of retaliation, or the overwhelming weight of his influence, he allegedly made it nearly impossible for people to refuse his demands. Even when victims tried to speak out, they were reportedly met with disbelief or outright hostility. One accuser said he was untouchable. People didn't want to believe he could do something like this.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
But now, the tide is turning. The investigation into Diddy's actions has opened the floodgates, with more and more people coming forward to share their stories. The lawsuits being prepared by Tony Busby and other attorneys are expected to be among the most explosive in recent history, with implications that could reach the highest levels of the entertainment industry. While Diddy's legal team has dismissed the allegations as a reckless media circus, the sheer volume of accusations is impossible to ignore. As the walls close in on Diddy, the question isn't just what will happen to him, it's what this means for the industry as a whole. How many other powerful figures have used their influence in similar ways? How many more victims are still too afraid to come forward? And perhaps most importantly, will this finally be the moment when Hollywood begins to hold its most powerful players accountable?
And when you see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms.
Now that you've heard the shocking details of Diddy's alleged misconduct, we want to hear from you. Do you think other celebrities who attended his party should be held accountable? How far do you think this scandal will spread within the entertainment industry? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.